The increase in assaults on officers then is a matter of record. Heated attacks that simmer into cold statistics. But these statistics are important only in that they point to one simple question: why? Although the question is undoubtedly a simple one, the answer to it is probably one of the most complex enigmas in American society. Generally speaking, the 3 deaths and numerous assaults in Baltimore so far this year have aroused no amount of public anger or interest, and this basic apathy may be the key to the mystery. Most professional people who are active in law enforcement problems seem to agree that the #1 starting point to the answer of why the increase in assaults lies in the general indifference of the public, so long as the problem doesn't affect them personally. But there are many other possibilities that fill in the cracks between this apathy, and it's perhaps wise to explore these possibilities before unloading the entire problem on the public's shoulders. One theory is of a sociological nature. The belief that the population increases, there will always be more and more dissatisfied people who will expend their frustrations against the representatives of authority. A much more sinister answer to the question of why the assaults on police officers comes now from Jack Edward Rytten, a private investigator and police consultant who has devoted 18 years of study to the problems of law enforcement in the United States. In addition, he is the author of 27 in-service training texts now in use in many police academies, a writer for Police Chief magazine, and editor of Police Review. Besides public apathy, in your opinion, are there any other elements that enter into assaults on officers?
Yes, there is. There has been a deliberate attempt on the part of the left wing, locally and nationally, to throw the entire investigative and law enforcement process into disrepute. It is known by law enforcement officers that no one less than Elizabeth Gurley Flynn, the chairman of the National Communist Party in this country, has been on an all-out propaganda program to throw into disrepute the work of the FBI, the work of such splendid committees as the House Committee on Un-American Activities, and other congressional groups whose purpose is to probe into subversive activities wherever they may find them.
Do you feel that this communist activity really works its way down to the local level?
Yes, because unfortunately there are certain reputable liberal groups who I would prefer to think inadvertently, rather than deliberately, follow a communist party line in that they, through their utterances and their editorials, depict the policeman and the police function as either stupid or brutal or corrupt. Now, these people are the ones that are strangely silent when a policeman is assaulted, but they are the most noisy ones to charge, honestly or dishonestly, police brutality. They are in the forefront of those people who are advocating police powder puff techniques. It's this liberal element of bleeding hearts and do-gooders and professional civil libertarians, if you like, who are building a defendant's class for the defense attorney, who are putting the rights of the criminal above the rights of the law-abiding citizen.
Do you feel that these people are professional card-carrying communists?
I think that whether they are professional communists or not is academic. The point remains that an undisciplined group of would-be liberals, would-be champions of the underdog, are impairing the functions of law enforcement to such an extent that they are reducing police functions throughout the country to a near impotence, and in doing that are serving Communist Party objectives, whether they are card-carrying communists or not. I think it is part of a carefully planned scheme that is certainly has the blessings of the communists to hold law enforcement up as either savage or brutal or corrupt or politically dominated. Any person that depicts the policeman as a buffoon or as a brute or as corrupt is breaking down faith in the concept of due process of law. After creating a climate of distrust for the police officer, it is a comparatively simple thing to then create an attitude of distrust for the entire process of law and the entire process of jurisprudence.
Well, just a minute ago, Mr. Rytten, you mentioned what you called a defendant's class and powder puff law enforcement. Don't you feel that increased authority for the police would interfere with the rights of citizens?
Certainly not. Citizens who run afoul of the law have their day in court, and nobody thinks a second time that every defendant, no matter how he's has transgressed, is not entitled to his day in court. But law-abiding citizens have their rights too. Men, women, and children who are the victims of heinous assaults. And I think if we had broader investigative laws, that these laws would give a new vitality to the police function and give the maximum protection to the most people, which is, after all, the function of law enforcement.